Welcome to Daily Office Devotions, where every Monday through Friday we explore that day's scripture readings as given in the Book of Common Prayer. I'm Reggie Kidd. Thanks for joining me. This is Monday of the 5th week of Epiphany, and we are in year 1 of the Daily Office Lectionary. New creation in Galatians. Paul closes his letter to the Galatians with a flourish. It was customary for a person who had dictated the body of a letter to take the pen and write the conclusion in their own hand. Thereby, they could certify the authenticity of the letter and crisply summarize its contents. With his large letters, Paul emphatically confirms that this letter, this great charter of Christian freedom, is his. And in his own hand, he encapsulates his main point. A new creation is everything. Putting on a show of ultra piety doesn't matter. What matters is taking one's place in the death of Christ in such a way that the world is crucified to me and I to the world. Galatians chapter 6, verse 14. What matters is belonging to the Israel of God that is being refashioned to include all who, by faith, are sons of Abraham and daughters of Sarah, and experiencing the peace and mercy that belong to those who follow this rule. Galatians chapter 6, verse 16. What marks the Israel of God in Isaiah? For his part, Isaiah reasserts what has always been the rule for people who experience Yahweh's redeeming and rescuing love. It is not their hyper-spirituality that aligns their hearts with Yahweh's and draws them near to him. Their fasting and self-humiliation and sackcloth and ashes, Isaiah chapter 58, verses 2 and 3. When it masks injustice, oppression of workers, quarreling, fighting, striking with the wicked fist, tolerating hunger, homelessness, and nakedness among their own, Isaiah chapter 58, verses 4, 5, and 7. All the fancy religious activity in the world amounts to nothing. In fact, it's worse than nothing. It's active rebellion. Even as Isaiah promises a new Exodus, he calls for a return to the ethical logic of the Exodus. Those who have had their own bonds of oppression loosed do the same for others. Those who have been brought home do all they can for the homeless among them. Those who have enjoyed the bountiful table of the Lord share their table with the hungry. To do so, as Paul puts it above, is to follow the rule of the Israel of God, following the rule in Mark. Then they came to Capernaum, and when he was in the house, he asked them, "What were you arguing about on the way?" But they were silent, for on the way they had argued with one another who was the greatest. Mark chapter 9, verses 33 through 34. Jesus extends what it means to follow the rule of the Israel of God to guarding our hearts from seeking privilege and status in our service to him. Setting a little child before his disciples, Jesus points to the least and the littlest among us and says basically, serve me in them. Mark chapter 9, verses 36 through 37. He extends the rule to treating charitably others who follow him, but do it differently than we do, whether it's different manifestations of the Spirit, whether it's a different style of worship, whether it's different priorities in ministry. The rule of the Israel of God is, whoever is not against us is for us. Mark chapter 9, verse 40. Oh, for the rule of the Israel of God to prevail among us, for the reality of a new creation to pervade followers of Jesus Christ, for us to be crucified to the world and its way of measuring worth and getting things done, and the world to be crucified to us. Be blessed this day.